as scheduled every week. I'm just watching the signal, if the signal's okay. It's kind of wavering right now. Welcome, my friends, and we're going to talk about hardware backdoors in relation to that topic on end-to-end encryption in a second. But I just want to tell you, while some of you are looking at ads and things, that I'm going to change the format of the live stream in the future. When exactly, I'm not certain. Maybe in November, or maybe right before that. I'm not certain yet. But there's going to be a change. I'm going to discuss it later in this broadcast. But read the comments or the description section, because I want you to join up on robbraxman.locals. Join up on robbraxman.locals.com. And so think about that. We're going to get into that later, but just to make you aware. So right now we're live on Rumble and we're live on YouTube. So welcome, my friends. And again, the standard format is that I talk for 30 minutes on a given topic. Is there sound? You mean there's no sound? I mean, sound is coming out. So just somebody can verify that. I think it's okay. It looks okay. Looks okay. I mean, I'm broadcasting with sound, and I made the chat bigger, so some of you can read it on a smaller device. So anyway, 30 minutes on a given topic, and then I'm going to do a Q&A on after that. Now, as I said, I'm going to change format. I'm going to ask your feedback in the next segment on the Q&A section, and then we can talk about how I want to approach this. I'm not certain yet. I'm open to ideas. I'm just researching it, and I'll tell you why I'm thinking about it. So anyway, the issue is the question of how somebody is going to do content scanning. So that's and my next video is going to specifically delve into that in detail, which is content scanning at the client side. And many people have raised in the comments, the video was viral, as the last several videos have been viral. So 3 of the videos are pushing up my numbers quite a bit here, because they're all doing very well. The last 3 videos since the video on end-to-end encryption. The volume is very low. Can somebody just verify that? He said the volume is very low. Okay, I'm going to increase the volume. Okay. So the volume should be maybe over the top here. So I may have to step down here a little bit. Okay. So I forget what I was talking about. The end-to-end encryption topic was a very important one, and then right after I did that video, almost accidentally, the UK approved the law called the Online Safety Bill, which actually implemented exactly what I was concerned about with client-side content scanning. So that's going to be a very interesting video coming up next week on this, but this is not related to that. The topic I want to talk about is hardware. And somebody said, well, it's not going to be in hardware, it's not going to be in OS, it's going to be in the hardware, and in fact it already exists because of IME and all of this. And I'm just going to talk about that. And I don't believe that the hardware is a significant threat yet. It could be. There are some limitations in hardware, and I want to really explain it to you. E2E at router level, no, that's not going to work. It has to be at the hardware, it's the device itself. You can't do E2E at the network level because it's already encrypted at that point. So there's encryption in between. So you got to catch the traffic before encryption. So let's just delve into this a little bit deeper so you understand. So if you have end-to-end encryption using, let's just use Signal as an example here. So if Signal, Kelp, you still remember Kelp? If Signal was being used at the client side, how do you intercept Signal? Well, you can't intercept Signal directly by saying, I'm going to try to decrypt Signal in the middle and be a man in the middle and then try to decrypt Signal in the middle. That's too much work. And then you're battling a mathematical problem. Now you're going to say, well, I'm going to find a way to break the encryption. I'm going to do quantum computing and all that. And all that is very time consuming, and it's in high traffic, high volume things. It's not going to really be usable. I don't think it's actually that practical for high volume stuff. I mean, quantum computing could be used in theory for low volume stuff where they just want to like decrypt, a small segment. But when you're trying to decrypt a lot of traffic of a lot of people in mass surveillance, that's not going to work. You need something easier. And the easier way is to just do a man in the middle right at the device. Why go through all this decryption BS? Why do you need to do that? All you need to do is put the MITM or man in the middle at the OS side, if you're going to do software, and have Windows and Mac OS be the spy, and everything you see on the screen they can see. Okay, so that's the easiest way. So, and my next video will actually discuss how easy that is, because it's pretty easy. And that's the next video. So don't miss out on the next video, because I'll actually explain how easily that is done, and you don't have to wait years for somebody to implement that. If somebody said we demanded you do you break end-to-end encryption by doing a man-in-the-middle backdoor spying on the OS, and you got to do it in the next 60 days, could you do it? The answer is Zach, yeah, they could do it. And I discussed that in the next video. Now, what about hardware though? Because some of you say, well, that's not. This is irrelevant now because you can actually spy on the hardware with IME, and there's a backdoor also on the baseband modem on the phone. So on the phone, there's the baseband modem, which has its own operating system with its own backdoors, and then you got the IME backdoor on Intel, and PSP is the backdoor equivalent on AMD. So you're saying, okay, there's a backdoor, so there's no need for any of this. They can already do this. No, because that's not really built for mass surveillance. Just so you understand, this is not really a mass surveillance issue. And the other thing is, and this is kind of related to some of you doing the, reacting to the FEMA alert message. Some of you were in panic about the FEMA alert message because you think that the hardware is going to do something to your graphene oxide in your body and all that good stuff. Okay, so that's the hardware approach in theory, which I just want to let you know, I don't think you need to worry about that. Okay, I don't think it's a serious threat. Okay, so first of all, just as a side note, you don't need a FEMA alert to do that. If you don't know this, this is kind of funny that people don't know this. They can do a what do they call it? What's the name for that? They can update your cell modem with code remotely now, and on Android, on Apple, it's not going to even tell you it does it. On Android, it actually pops a message that says the BIOS on your baseband modem was updated, but it's called carrier update. So okay, so some of you are saying, oh, this FEMA and all this. Like, goodness, they don't need FEMA for that. They just need to do a carrier update. They can do that now. They can do it every day silently. So don't tell me that they're going to use FEMA. There's other ways. Okay? I mean, we've been getting alerts all year, or years, there's nothing new. Nothing new here. So you're saying that the alert has to come from this FEMA alert. And come on, let's be serious here. That's a very inefficient way of doing it. Why even tell you? Why even tell you? They can just send a carrier update silently to every zucking baseband modem, and you won't even know. Why even discuss it? Why even discuss it? Okay, so don't worry about this FEMA thing. I mean, it's too much on this. I heard that my most famous OS that I talk about starts with G. Oh, they eliminated the alert. Okay, got it. Okay, like wow, you're gonna save yourself from your graphene oxide. So okay, so we're gonna ignore that. So again, just so you know, there's other ways to do it. Forget this FEMA thing. If there was an issue there, I'd make a video about it. That's if it's worth talking about. It's not worth talking about. It's definitely a conspiracy theory. It's nothing to do with the real threats that are out there. The real threat is easier to do without all of this nonsense. And the real threat is that can be done at the hardware is not a FEMA alert, but some actually embedded code in the hardware. And there's already one, and then one of them is on a computer. It's called IME, the Intel Management Engine. And on your baseband modem, there's several things on there. In the baseband modem, it reacts to SIMJacker and any number of things that can actually control the baseband modem. Okay, so given that they can do that, why am I not focused on that? First of all, the legislation that's being discussed everywhere in the Five Eyes countries do not talk about hardware. Because you can't really modify hardware after it's been out there. Well, not true. You can, but for the most part, it's harder to require hardware to change when you can do it on the software side. So one of the things that I mentioned was that you can change hardware. You can change the code on the hardware using a over-the-air update, and they actually can do that on a baseband modem. I actually was scouring the internet and I found discussion about how you can do it on Qualcomm. So there is a way to do a on-the-air update of the BIOS on a Qualcomm, and of course there's a carrier update, which is a BIOS update or a flash memory update that can update the code on a baseband modem. So it is possible to update it. However, just so you understand the limitations of hardware, the problem with hardware is that it's pretty global. I mean, there's no fine tuning in hardware. You can't search for specific things. It's kind of like a mass kind of thing. If you're gonna spy on something, you're going to generate a lot of traffic. Let's say you said, or I'm going to do key logging. Let's just use something very basic, key logging. By the way, this is not scripted. I don't have a script for this. I'm just, reacting to it from the moment here. But let's say that they said, okay, we're going to do special hardware that does key logging. Every time you touch the keyboard, it's going to send out. Well, the problem with that is, that's very easy to detect. So if any cybersecurity guy can see if you're using a keyboard and there's a corresponding traffic on the internet, that's going to be pretty noticeable. So that's not the good way. And the other thing is that generates massive traffic. And so that's very easily spotted. And since there's no filtering with that, it's not the most efficient way of doing anything. And if you're looking for a certain kind of person that does something specific, like let's say doing word searching, you can't do that on hardware because what words to search? That could change. It's better to do that over software, and otherwise it has to communicate somewhere, download something which will invoke software. So that's not a good idea. The other thing that's the problem is that if the interface to the hardware requires some command and control from an external source, in software, that's easy because the software already communicates with an HQ. Like, let's say Apple, the Apple machine communicates with Apple constantly, so they can hide any kind of traffic between the device and Apple or the Windows device with Microsoft. That's very easy to do, or with iOS and Apple and Android with Google. So that's always goes on in there, and you can you can put in any number of things in there that can instruct the device to do something else. With hardware, there are many, many limitations. So let me give you one. IME, the Intel Management Engine, doesn't really work as a threat inside your home. I just want you to understand this, because many of you don't actually know this. IME cannot be used against you in your home. One of the requirements of IME is that you contact the device by a specific port. Let's say, I forget the port number now, let's say it's 327 or something like that. I don't remember. Okay, so there's a specific port number for IME. So then you have to log in using the Intel interface for it, which they will give you when you're a corporation, and then you access the device by a direct IP address with the port, and then you communicate with the computer. Now, how does this actually done? Many of you don't actually know this, but every Intel computer actually has 2 CPUs, not one. So if you buy the fancy CPU from Intel, and you think, I got this CPU with 10 million cores, but you don't know that there's a little CPU on the side. So there's the big CPU. There's always, well, let's make it tinier. There's a tiny CPU down here in an Intel chip. That's IME. The tiny CPU only has one purpose. The tiny CPU is there to listen to a certain specific port. When there's traffic that's coming into the computer and is going to this port, it actually bypasses the computer and goes to the second chip on the CPU. It goes directly CPU to the CPU, the second one. It talks to the network separately. It's actually a separate computer. So an Intel computer has 2 pieces of hardware, the big chip and the little chip. Okay. Now, many of you don't actually know this, that the second chip, or the IME or vPro module, is actually not running on many of the consumer models now. They took it off 3 years ago, I think. So they're not in the consumer models. Now, why is this? Because IME itself cannot actually run in a home network, because you have to have an IP address that's addressable. Now, just getting a little technical here, but it cannot go through NAT. It cannot go through your home network. Okay, that's what NAT is, your home network. Okay, every home router has a built-in thing called NAT, Network Address Translation, so that the address of your computer is going to be 192.168 or 10.0. whatever, and those are not addressable on the internet. So every router blocks traffic coming in from 192.168 or 10. whatever. It blocks it, so you can't communicate with a device, either incoming or outgoing, on those IP addresses. And that's the only way to talk with IME. That is the only way to talk with IME. So IME doesn't actually react to your home. Where IME is used for is in a corporate network. Because if you're in a corporation, you're not going to be in a NAT. You're going to be inside the network. You're going to be in a LAN. They will have a known IP address, and they can access that directly. You don't have to go through the internet. In fact, IME is not made to go through the internet. So IME itself is not really a threat for the average person. It's really a threat for a corporate user. It's more really a cybersecurity threat rather than a privacy threat. So I wouldn't really consider IME as something that we need to panic about unless you're a corporate user. Okay, and a corporate user, somebody can control your computer without your knowledge. If somebody has a hold of, somebody in IT could do that. Somebody in IT could do that, but they can't do it to your home network unless they're in your home too. Okay, so for the people, all of you in a home network, you don't really need to worry about IME. It's not. I don't concern myself with IME unless somebody's in my home network. If some visitor randomly says, "Oh, can I borrow your network?" and I guess sit here and work, and then he has a computer, I don't know who he is, and he has IME controls on there, and he could theoretically then break into computers inside your home network. Well, come on. I mean, you can easily spot that. If somebody wants to attack your network from externally, it's going to be within physical range. You can see them. So I don't think that is not necessarily a common attack. Besides, it has no mass surveillance value. Mass surveillance is really the issue when I'm talking about this topic of beating end-to-end encryption. It doesn't really. It's somebody getting attacked, a single person with IME, is not the same as the mass surveillance where the government says we're going to put in a backdoor and track every computer. That doesn't work with IME. IME is kind of like remote access to one computer at a time. So it's basically a targeted computer. That is not a threat that we need to all worry about. Now, let's talk about the phone now because I only have 10 minutes to finish this. On the phone, there's a baseband modem. Again, there's the problem there. The baseband modem is a separate CPU. Here we are, again, two CPUs. So you got your normal phone CPU and then your baseband modem CPU. Two CPUs on your phone. The baseband modem has backdoors. That's pretty obvious and well known to all of us in cybersecurity because there's the baseband modem has SIM jacker and any number of things you can do to communicate with a modem. Separately, SS7, there's many things you can do to the baseband modem. However, the baseband modem can't access your storage. They can't go into your drive, your flash drive. It's not built into there because the baseband modem has its own storage. It has its own flash memory. It shares the memory. It could, in theory, with some hack. This is not a natural thing it can do. It can read the memory, but it can't access the storage. So if it's going to look at your photos, it can't do that because there's a natural break between the two CPUs. Only the application CPU has access to the file storage. The baseband modem has its own storage, although it shares the same memory. So because of that, it's not, again, useful for mass surveillance because to do the mass surveillance and say, I'm going to go track your photos, that's not going to be easily done through the baseband modem because that's done by the OS, Android, iOS, on the application processor. So that element of tracking doesn't really cross over. Again, here's a hardware backdoor, very inefficient. It's not really a very good use of that. So what I'm trying to tell you is that for this kind of thing that I'm talking about, which is mass surveillance, a la online safety law in the UK or whatever they're coming up with, the Restrict Act and all these different things they're considering in the EU and the US, and the US has so many different ones. So I'm like, there's like, I don't know, so many legislation being considered related to this, and it's hard to pinpoint which one we're talking about now. But they're all trying to attack this with multiple laws, trying to say we're going to put in a built-in backdoor into your phone so we can track you easily. They can't do that easily with hardware. Aside from the limitation that you have to actually communicate to the device to even trigger any action because hardware is fixed. It's very hard to modify. You can modify some of it with flash memory, but for the most part it's not easy, and there's very limited commands, and the size of memory is very small. So you can do very just a little stuff with hardware, and if you do too much, it becomes obvious it'll show up on the network. So for this reason, I want to clarify this. No, I do not expect that the hardware itself will be a mass surveillance mode of attack on us to beat end-to-end encryption. I don't really think so. It's not a good way of doing that. It is too easy to do on the OS side. So why would I waste time on something hard? This is something that you always have to understand. Some of you are always thinking about things like, we're going to do graphene oxide on you. Okay? You've heard that so many times now. But why do something hard when you can do something easy? Why do I need graphene oxide to track you when I can track you on your fucking phone? I don't need any of this. Why would somebody waste their time to make the most complicated technology for something that you already have? You're carrying your phone. I can track you on your phone. I don't need to do anything else. All this graphene oxide, it's kind of funny when considering you're carrying a standard phone. You don't even carry the Degoogled phone. If you're going to carry a Degoogled phone, yeah, maybe you should worry about graphene oxide and stuff like that. I don't actually believe that you can do whatever they say they can do on them, because I understand how it works. Okay, as a tech guy, I know that it's some of these conspiracy theories are actually wrong, because there's some technical issues you got to deal with when it comes to radio frequency communication. I have a general license in ham radio. I mean, I should know a little bit about frequencies, about RF. So I know how you can't just do cross over the body and do all that. But you have your phone, and your phone is already transmitting. Why would I do something hard when I can do something easy that I'll be able to spy on 99% of you with your sucking phone? And you're thinking about, oh my gosh, you're going to be attacked by graphene oxide, and you're not even thinking about your phone. Okay, so your phone is there. They don't need anything special. All the tracking, all the surveillance just can be done on the phone. And you don't need to do anything further. So if you actually protect yourself at the phone level, for most of you don't even have computers, if you protect yourself at the phone level, you've already handled 80% of the problem. And many of you are not saying, oh, I don't believe in this, Degoogled phone BS that Rob's talking about. I don't want a Degoogled phone. It's too inconvenient. Well, then go believe in your graphene oxide, because you think there's some more difficult way to do it. They already got you. If you have a phone, they already got you. You don't need any graphene oxide. They're already tracking you on your phone. Okay, just make that clear. They're already doing that. So the only way to fight back at that level is to say, I'm not going to use your phone. I'm going to use my phone. We're not going to use your phone that has all the secret code on it, which it does, especially the iPhones. Why would I use a phone that has all the secret code on it to track me when I can use a phone that has no secret code and is verified to have no secret code? We don't need to go all dramatic here, guys. We don't need to do all this. We don't need to worry about this extreme forms of hardware, although it is possible to do certain kinds of spying on hardware. It actually is pretty inefficient to do without software. So as a software guy, I'm telling you right now, it's inefficient. Now, some software could talk to the hardware and do something more, but still it has to be initiated from the software side in order to be efficient, especially when you're doing mass surveillance, which is what we're talking about here. Mass surveillance, where somebody says, we're going to break end-to-end encryption in general, not for one specific case, but in general. So the answer is, and some of you will get mad at me, and you'll all unsubscribe because you believe in your graphene oxide. And you don't need to do the graphene oxide. Take care of your phone. Take care of your phone, because that's where most of the problem is. Take care of your sucking phone. Okay? Don't jump off the deep end with all of these theories about FEMA. There's so many ways to update your phone. The carrier update does not need FEMA. Let me repeat that. A carrier update doesn't need FEMA. You can see carrier updates all the time. It's sent to your phone. It's triggered by the carrier. There are only 3 carriers. They can trigger anything for you. If the government says you must trigger this change to the baseband modem, they could do that. If they want to do that, they've already done it. They can do it quietly. They don't have to announce it to you. Okay? Are Degoogled phones generally supported by phone carrier? Yes, they are, depending on the phone model. Some models are more difficult for Verizon than others. Otherwise, if you're using a Pixel, that's universally supported anywhere in the world. So a Pixel is the best Degoogled phone for compatibility because it works everywhere. Okay, so don't panic with this hardware stuff. Don't panic with this FEMA, which is a hardware trigger, so to speak. Don't panic with any of this. This is not that big of a deal. Okay, so let me take a short break with the sponsor, and then we'll get right back into this. By the way, if you maybe many of you don't know this, but the Bytes VPN is actually which is the VPN that this channel has, and I make Bytes VPN, and it's it's used to support this channel. So if you use Bytes VPN, you're supporting this channel. So if you say, I don't want to give this channel any kind of freebie donations, I want to get some benefit out of it. Well, here's one. You just go to Bytes VPN and use the feature we have. But Bytes VPN actually runs on Linode. And one of the things that I want to tell you about this week is that, and this was announced that Linode was going to do this, and I just took the time to set it up this weekend. And Linode actually opened up quite a few new data centers. They opened up one in Seattle, in Chicago, and Washington, D.C. in the U.S. Then they opened up Sweden, Paris, France, Milan, let's see, Chennai, India. There's a few more. There's quite a few more, and I'm sure there's more coming. So Linode has expanded quite a bit since the old days when it was just Linode. Now it's Akamai Linode, and they have expanded. This is one of the bigger benefits of Linode. So I'm so happy to have had that, because then I've been able to expand the VPN service now to be in all the locations where Linode is, and I'm very happy to get that benefit. So if you're using Bytes VPN and you're in one of these areas, you can see that we have actually increased our service zone. We are in so many countries and so many places in the U.S. We now cover the Midwest. The Midwest was kind of a limitation. The other one was the Northwest. We have Seattle now. So we have coverage now to give you fast service all over the U.S. So that's very good to know. So if you want to use Linode for your website or any kind of cloud server, you can take advantage of them and have fast internet at many of these locations. If depending which location you want, or maybe you want multiple locations, you can easily do it by setting up a server in multiple places like I do. And all you have to do is go to Linode, and if you use the code linode.com/RobBraxman, you're going to give you a $100 credit, and then you can try it out for possibly free. And their servers are very inexpensive. A regular server is like $20, and that's a big server, and a small server is like $5 a month. I mean, it's very, very reasonable. So you're not even likely going to spend $100 to even try it out. So try it out. And I'm of course a big fan of Linode. They've done very well for me. Okay, now change of topic here. Okay, so many of you don't actually know this. Every time I go do a broadcast here on YouTube, I lose subscribers. And I appreciate so many of you. Look at so many of you commenting here on. I can see the comments on Rumble. Not as many today. I can see the comments on YouTube. YouTube usually has a lot of comments, but for whatever reason, every time I do a broadcast on YouTube, I lose subscribers. And I don't really know why, but it really makes me wonder if there's any benefit to doing a live stream here on YouTube. Actually, on Rumble, I'm getting most of my benefit on Rumble from the live stream. Most of the subscribers actually come from the live stream. And so I don't know why that is. I don't really have an explanation. So, no, a Chromebook is not safe in any situation. So dump your Chromebook, go get a different computer. So yeah, so yes, SX, you see your comments if you're from YouTube. You don't see your comments if you're on Rumble. I see the comments, but I can't post it on here. So anyway, so I have to kind of rethink my live stream strategy here, because if it's not really helping my channel, I'm not sure. Because, you know, I don't get that many views. The average viewership on a typical live stream video is like 4,000. So it's not anywhere near the size of, even a regular video is maybe, you know, 10 to 20,000 for regular video. The last 3 big videos are already in the 100 and, yeah, they're closing on 150,000 on each one of them. So those are, you know, the standard short videos are do so much more than the live stream. So I obviously have some sort of different market. There's a different group that does the live stream, and so what I'm thinking about here is offer a different experience here that I don't really care if there's a few of you or a lot of you, but this may be the way to make it more exclusive. And because, you know, the Q&A is me answering your questions. Thank you, Mizu. Thank you so much. And I know you were very first here because I saw your comment at the very beginning, Mizu. So, and I can be, you know, I can react to people more in a more personal level if I don't have to worry about the YouTube algorithm and performing here on YouTube. So what I'm thinking about, and this is my idea, and you can shoot it down and maybe I'll change my mind, but what I'm thinking about is doing the live stream on robbraxman.locals.com. Doing it on Locals. Locals, by the way, is owned by Rumble. But many creators, like Brian Lunduke from Linux, he only does his social media on Locals. I can't do that because I have Brax Me, and I need to partition my activities such a way that my time is better utilized. There's a limitation on how much time I can spend answering your questions individually, even on Brax Me. And Brian Lunduke does not have a Brax Me, and any other one of those, like Scott Adams and any of those other people who used to be in Periscope that are big on Locals, can't really do it like I do because I have my own platform. I've got Brax Me. There's I don't know, 90,000 of you on Brax Me. So you know, there's a lot of people that I can talk to directly on Brax Me, but there's a limit to my time. So what I'm thinking about is doing the Q&A, the live stream with the Q&A on Locals, and stopping doing it on YouTube, because it really has not been of value to do it on YouTube here. I just lose subscribers. Every time I do it, I lose subscribers. It's very frustrating. So Dave Rubin, I don't know whoever owns Rumble owns Locals. I don't actually know who owns Rumble. Is that the guy that owns Rumble? I'm not sure, because to be honest with you, Rumble came to me and said, we want you to be on our platform, and we're going to promote you on our platform. And they have, to a point. They were promoting my videos at the beginning, and then they stopped doing that, and they only now promote only the live stream. So my videos are pretty much unwatched. The standard videos are better watched on YouTube because nobody watches them on Rumble. But the live streams are watched on Rumble. Rumble is again owns Locals, but I'm actually thinking, if I even want to do the live stream itself on Rumble, maybe I do just the replay on Rumble, but the actual live stream on locals. Now there's some technical limitations here. There are technical limitations there. Locals itself doesn't allow for my kind of broadcast with OBS, so it's not that sophisticated yet. So I have to talk to them to see if that's doable. Thank you, Initiator. Yes, it's kind of surprising when I got to a month ago when I got to 400. It was wavering like it was gonna leave 400, like I wouldn't even get to 400. I was at 399 for months. It didn't even move, and suddenly it gained 10,000 in just a month. So I gained 10,000 subscribers in just a month here. So yeah. So thank you. I mean, it's heartening to do this when people are actually listening to what I'm saying. So anyway, that's. I already had my margaritas, James Mason. I had it, past tense. It's I usually have margaritas right before the broadcast. Why would a subscriber of the channel only unsubscribe after tuning to a live stream? I have no idea, Davey. If I knew, I would tell you. But it's actually common in YouTube. It's not just me. Okay, but if I simulcast to all platforms, which I can't, it's too complicated to do that. I can't read all the comments. Right now, you're only seeing the comments from YouTube. So, if you go to locals, there's probably no real difference, but maybe we can partition the group into the more active participants could be on locals. So yeah, why waste? It's kind of a resource, people value the Q&A section, and if I'm going to post on YouTube, for example, why do I have to post beyond the 30 minutes? Maybe if I post to YouTube, I cut it at the 30-minute mark. So, I mean, I could still do that. I could say, okay, I'm going to edit the video. I got to see, there's some technical limitations. I don't actually know. I actually don't know if I can have access to the video after the broadcast on local. So there's some technical limitations here. Or the other thing, the other way to do it is do the live stream on Rumble and have it actually go on locals, and we talk about it on locals. So yeah, so this is something to consider here. So in order to kind of facilitate this and to make sure you're ready for this, just go to robbraxman.locals.com and just sign up. Doesn't cost you anything. Just sign up. Go to robbraxman.locals.com. Sign up to the to that platform. And I have to admit, I have not been going there because I don't know how to use it yet. I actually don't know how to use, frankly. Some people left comments in there, and I don't know how to use it yet. It's got to find time to go figure it out. So some people have unanswered comments on there on robbraxman.locals.com. But if I actually move the live stream there, then I got to spend my time there, and I got to react to that. And what I can do is make sure that the Q&A is only there. There's no remove the Q&A option here on YouTube. If you want Q&A, you go do it there. Then hopefully I don't lose subscribers, because every time I do Q&A, people complain and say, "Oh, your thing is too long," on and on and on. So no, I can't do Brax Live anymore. I took off the live fee. It's too expensive for me, because there wasn't enough traffic to justify paying for the server every month. So I don't do my own. As you know, I can do my own live stream server. I did do it on BraxMe before. X is X is a mystery art. I have the usual number there, but it's not really growing fast, and I'm not doing the short form approach that X is made for, because my form is long form. It doesn't really suit the style of X. X is, you make some comment, some extreme comment, and then people react to it. And that's not what I do. Would I do 2 broadcasts per week? No, I can't do that. There's not enough time. So anyway, that's a thought. Again, when exactly I would do this is not exactly known yet, but I really do not benefit from live here on YouTube. To me, it's just a distraction here on YouTube. So might as well put on a platform. I'll talk about it here, and people say, okay, I have a live schedule on Locals, and promote it also on X. But I don't think it's going to be suitable here. I mean, the kind of like Periscope. If Periscope were alive, then I could say, okay, I do a live stream on Periscope every week. Not going to happen. I don't think I'm going to go back to Periscope. So anyway, given that, please go to robbraxman.locals.com, sign up. Of course, one of the things that Locals is if you want to support the channel, you can do right on Locals, and you can support the channel for $5 a month if you wish. At the moment, I'm not asking you to do that. Of course, the channel benefits from it if we can do that, whereas I get no benefit here, not even from sponsorship. 5,000 views doesn't. I don't even know if 5,000 views gets a couple of dollars here on YouTube. Probably not. So there's really no real value here on YouTube to do the live stream. I don't get paid in ads, nothing. It's not actually that worth it. So might as well just focus on the regular videos here on YouTube, which is doing very well and gaining subscribers. As you can see, we'll probably be at 410,000 very shortly here, maybe within the week, maybe in the next couple of days, we'll be at 410,000. So, and I appreciate that. But I want to do something special. Q&A could be more relaxed and be more personal if I don't have to have the pressure here of YouTube. So, no, not much. 5,000 views. Got to be in the millions. It's per 1,000. So typically, the typical rate of an ad is, there's a CPM. CPM is per 1,000. So, I mean, how many? You have to be have views in the hundreds of thousand range to actually make anything significant. So yeah, and obviously, it doesn't hurt to have income for this to sustain. It's not sustainable if we don't make income, obviously, from this. But I don't really focus on that. I'm doing this as a service, and yeah. So, but there isn't much benefit to me here on YouTube. But I don't want to stop doing live streams. I just want to cater to a special community, because I find that the 4,000 to 5,000 people who watch live streams every week are a special group. They're not the usual. They're a special group, and they're usually more advanced. And so if I do a locals only live stream, it may be that I have to cut out a sponsor. Maybe no more Linode. So that's because that's not what they signed up for, and maybe I don't care anymore because it's not worth it. Okay, so the live streams are actually primarily if anything pays for live streams, it's Linode. but that's not enough to sustain the effort of doing it. Okay, so having said that, so just put that in the back of your head. Sign up to robbraxman.locals.com. No charge. Just sign up, and if you want to support the channel through there for $5 a month, you can. And I really, really appreciate it. I mean, here on YouTube, if you do a membership, they take half the money. If you go on Locals, they take 10%. Very reasonable. So the bulk of the money on Locals goes to the creator. The bulk of the money here on YouTube goes to half of it goes to YouTube. Okay, next issue that I want to talk about, which is kind of exciting actually, is our Brax mail. Now, I don't really promote my products here too often. You know, people ask me questions and I respond to it, and I try not to be hardcore trying to sell you anything. But I was so happy to tell you about Brax mail. So Brax mail, many of you had difficulty, looking at Brax mail and say, oh, you have to install an email client, and you got to do all these steps, and many of you weren't techy enough, you can figure it out. So now, starting this week, Brax mail now has webmail, so you don't actually have to set up anything. You could be running Brax mail, which is a $50 subscription a year. You sign up for Brax mail, and you could actually be using Brax mail instantly, just from a browser, from any device, because we now have webmail. And it's so simple to do. You just go set up your username, set up your password, and there you go. And one of the things that Braxmail does not do, as well as even the webmail portion of it, it does not track you. It doesn't have any information on where you actually are. It doesn't send any of that data to any third party. I don't know if you know this, but let's say you're using any normal email client. Go look at, some of you don't actually know this, but look at the if you're in Thunderbird, you can see this easily. You can look at the actual metadata on the email with view source. And you can look at any email somebody sends you, and you can see their IP address. So you can actually expose where people are sending it from, and if you have a way of getting the location with an IP address, which many of us do have the capability, you can actually find out exactly where that person is within typically within 100 feet, just from the email. And then emails also spy on you by when they send you little pixels, they call it beacons, and they can beacon your email, and they can't do that on a Braxmail or on a webmail of Braxmail webmail, because there's no data to get. So that's one of the benefits of Braxmail. And for $50 a month, why are you using Gmail? Why? You want your privacy lost, and go do that. Whereas Braxmail, you don't have to worry about this. So it's for $50 a month, you get 5 domains. So you can use Brax.live, Bytes.me, email1.me, Braxsecure.net, Bytes.me, and Braxmail.net. So you get 5 domains automatically with whatever username you have. So if your username is Mizu can have 5 if you use that name, you can have 5 domains automatically, which you can then partition for various purposes, like financial, websites, platforms, and then that makes sure that they don't know who you are, because if you change the domains like that, then they can't recognize who it is in the contact list. $50 a year, James. Not a month. Who pays for email for $50 a month? A year. 5 domains, yes. So with webmail now, and we do not have a size limitation. So we have not had a size limitation. Many $50 a year, yes, a year. Oh, you can use whatever you want to use, but you know, I certainly want to give you an option. I've done many videos about why I'm not going to go to a Proton mail, and you can go watch that video. Yeah, so Brax mail is pretty low key, which is really what you want. Okay, how does it hide IP? Because we strip it off the header. The email extracts, or what is it? It prevents the IP address from showing up in the email. Okay, can I get a demo? Come on. Sign up, and then you get, and then if you want a refund, you get a refund 30 days. It's you don't need anything for that. Okay, so anyway, that's Brax mail. I told you Bytes VPN, the VPN service, which I already talked about too, has many new locations, so you can move around and add more locations to your presence and say, I'm in Sweden today. you can what did we add this week? We added Sweden, Paris, Milan, Chicago, and Seattle. That what I added this week? Yeah, Sweden, Paris, Milan, Chicago, and Seattle. That got added this week. No extra cost. Just pretty cool. So, oh yeah, you go trust MS Mail. MS Mail is one of the worst ones for beacon attacks. Yeah, right. I tested that. So that's BS. I do change my location. I want to become C2 in Japanese. I don't know what that means. I had been practicing Portuguese. Oh, it's a language level, isn't it? It's a language level. Okay. I actually, I've never actually studied in, I just heard that. Somebody told me about that. Levels of competency in the language. Normally $50 a year with margaritas is $50 a month. Are the servers host on ClearNet? The servers are hosted on Linode. Being frank with you, my servers are on Linode. So the mail servers are on Linode. The Bytes VPN servers are on Linode. So they've been good company for me. I'm really happy with their service and what they've done for me. I probably couldn't do it without, it costs me more. I'd probably have to raise my price if it's not on Linode, and if I raise my price, then I probably wouldn't get any customers. It is on the ClearNet. Well, it's email. Email is normal internet. Why? Do you want it to be on Tor or something? I mean, you could do that, but that's not the service we offer. Okay, because it has to talk to normal client. I mean, you could go talk to your email, go use webmail and do it on Tor, but kind of pointless since your email is not registered and doesn't show up anyway. So, the thing about the Brax service is that we strip off the IP addresses from our logs. So when you use Brax.me, we'd actually we make sure that the IP address doesn't get registered because we actually scripted in Linux to not capture the IP address. Okay. You wanted to use my phone, but I wish it was easier to use your site. Is there a phone number I can call for customer service? I heard of you from Good Dog. Well, Good Dog could probably direct you to where to buy, and maybe Good Dog could buy it for you. He can even probably help you with it, because Good Dog has been doing that. So and I give him a little commission, and he takes care of that. He kind of like sells for you. So if you come from Good Dog, then you can communicate with Good Dog, and he can probably guide you to how to do it. But normally you go to Brax.me, you go to a website, you go to the browser, you go to Brax.me, and there's a store after you sign up. You don't see the store until you sign up. And the reason is anybody can have a store on Brax.me. So there's no a store. There could be 50, 5,000, 10,000 stores on Brax.me. So, and there are. So there were. I don't have many stores now. But, and so the main website has the store that I have. So you can go in there and do stuff. Now, some of you are asking about Brax 3. I have to tell you, I told you this before, that I have a problem with the Brax 3 phone. In fact, EOS, Morena, just announced with a Kickstarter that they're going to release a brand new phone model for EOS called Fairphone, the new Fairphone, but actually the Fairphone is the Brax phone. It's the same phone. Okay, so it's the same phone. So they're doing a Kickstarter. It's the same phone. Okay, so you don't have to have any mystery here. EOS, I consider them like a brother company interested in privacy. Good people. So the problem is that they're like, we're all using the same phone. They're using the Brax phone. And the Brax phone has a problem in the US. The Brax phone has a problem. I've been using the Brax phone for several months now, the Brax 3 phone. I've been using the Brax 3 phone, testing it here for the last 3 months, and it has a problem. Therefore, if it has a problem, no one else can sell it without the problem. So, to be honest with you, I don't think I will sell the current model. It has to be redone. It's not working properly because I don't get service. The frequency, there's a frequency problem with it as far as what frequencies it supports, and I get a much worse signal than I got with Brax 2. Okay, and because of that, I can't possibly sell this and expect people to, if 50% of you would return the phone. I can't do that. So for that reason, if you want a usable phone that's practical for Degoogled use, until I announce because they have to, we have to order a new hardware for Brax 2 for this to work. The current one isn't going to work unless sold internationally. International is going to be fine. Who makes Brax phones? Yeah, so the Brax phones are made in the EU, and EOS is also in the EU. And we were trying to get the Brax phones to be sold by everyone. Every privacy channel can sell a Brax phone, but there's a problem. So I don't want to some of you are waiting. I'm not going to get a phone because I'm waiting for the Brax 3 phone, and I'm not sure that can be delivered anytime. This year, it probably has to be reconfigured, and that takes several months. So and the phone is very nice and has a lot of promise. It has a hardware switch too, which is kind of beneficial. But because of the frequency, I mean, if we have a problem with carriers, I'm just going to get returns. So, yeah. So anyway, yeah. So there's no problem with the fantastic Pixel phones we have. We have Pixel 5s. We had a lot of Pixel 5s. I ran out of 4As. I ran out of 6As. I have Pixel 6s. I don't know, maybe next week we'll we'll see if we can get some 6As, because the models are changing right now, because the new phones are coming out. I don't want you to go out and go buy an iPhone or a Pixel 8 from Google or any of these that are not Degoogled, because you're just going to be destroying your privacy, and they're going to be adding all this software changes to spy on you with content side scanning. You don't want that. So if you're in a rush to buy this year, the Pixel phones are fantastic, and people are taking advantage of them. I'm not selling them many of these Pixel phones, and they're great phones. And people actually think that because it says Google Pixel that there's some danger. No, the Google Pixel is just the hardware. We've replaced the software completely. They're running Calyx OS mostly. We can install any OS you want, but by default we install Calyx OS on it, and it's very easy to use. So I really have no problem with it at all. The carrier service, most of the phones are 5G, and by the way, this is not the dangerous 5G. We're not there yet. And they run really, really well. I mean, it works with all of them. It runs with Verizon, it runs with AT&T, T-Mobile, and any MVNO. They don't have a problem with it at all. It works universally around the world as well. So I've never gotten a problem with a Pixel, especially the new Pixels. So yeah, I'm actually, because my Brax 3 phone has been causing a problem for me lately, I'm actually going to stop using the test model of the Brax 3 phone that I've been using for several months, and I'm going to go to a Pixel, because the Brax phones uses Brax OS, which is a fork of Lunar OS, which is obviously based on AOSP, like all of them, like Calyx. So we have our own version of AOSP, which is Brax OS. So that's equivalent to Calyx OS, equivalent to EOS, and so on. These are all good options. It's just different from a device. But EOS basically made their software work on a Brax phone. So EOS is using a Brax phone, which is actually neat. So yeah, so that's very happy with that. I mean, I wish them well. EOS is in the EU, so yeah. Not that I want to lose sales to the EU, but yeah, it's an option. You can buy the phones from EOS, and you'll have the same benefit. And I'm happy to to support the community. It's not about me. It's about all of us using these tools. I hate to lose sales and say, oh, I'm going to give it away to EOS, but they're a good company. There's no problem with EOS. They're using the same phones. In the EU, the phones are fine. We have Brax 2 repair phones. We do not. We have a lot of Brax 2 repair phones. So if you want to repair your Brax 2, we have those. We can have it repaired already we just exchange it. We have a stock of extra phones here. No box. So we have a bunch of unboxed Brax 2s, and for $250, which is cheaper than repairing it. But if you want to repair it yourself, you can scrounge for parts. We can sell you parts-only phones for $50. Okay? So if you want to buy a phone, and you want to take the screen off, you can buy one of our $50 phones, take the parts out, and put it in your Brax 2. That kind of gives you long-term supply, because we have a lot of spare parts for we got a lot of them. Okay. So anyway, yes. So don't worry about the Pixels being 5G, because most of the phones we sell are 5G. They're not really 5G. I talked about this in a past video. They're multi-channel LTE. They actually didn't do 5G yet. They just faked us. It said, we're going to give you 5G and you're going to go have faster internet and all this. And basically what they did was do multi-channel, multi-frequency connections, because you're connecting, if you're uploading a file, you're actually connecting on 3 frequencies, and so it seems like 3 radios on the phone are talking, and it's like, oh wow, I'm going faster, and that the reason is they're just using multiple radios, but it's the same LTE. They're just multiple channels, 2 or 3 of them. Okay, so that's why it's not really the real 5G, the the millimeter wave 5G didn't actually happen. That's probably going to be called 6G. So there is no, in fact, this is the funny part. T-Mobile announced 5G, and their 5G was 600 megahertz. They actually went down. They went a lower frequency. They bought a frequency in the 600 megahertz. That's probably why my Brax 3 phone doesn't work, because T-Mobile probably is using a lot of the 600 megahertz, and that is not 5G, but a lot of phones don't support that because 600 megahertz is in the US only. So anyway, that's just letting you know that, in case you're wondering. So you don't have to worry about 5G technology being this weird tracking with the 5G, because 5G is worrisome when you actually implement 5G, the way they were projecting that, and that didn't happen yet. It'll probably happen in 6G. We do not want to do eSIM as long as there's support for non-eSIM. We don't want that. Okay, so if there's an option for an eSIM in the future, we will make sure that we have a way to switch that off in software, because eSIM is very dangerous. Raw eSIM as it is now, as implemented in most phones, you can't turn it off. So that means they can track you and send a signal to the phone. There's no way to say, I'm going to disable that. You can't disable it. So, okay. So we're gonna yeah. So best cell provider in Canada. Well, if you get a Pixel, should work with any provider in Canada. That shouldn't be an issue. I don't need 5G connection, to be honest. Well, 5G is just a suggestion of new frequencies. So you actually could be communicating on a 5G channel and you wouldn't even know it. It doesn't really matter. Okay, so do you actually need 5G? Well, I don't necessarily get better service with 5G, but the frequency may be different where you are. So it's more with availability of frequencies, and it's about the technical prowess of 5G. I'm not sure that's actually significant. All signals you get today are LTE 4G. All. Okay? Unless you're testing in some other country, like South Korea or somewhere. All are 4G. So again, to make it clear, 5G today is just multi-channel LTE. It's an option. They can say, can I transmit on one channel or 2 LTE channels? If they do, then their software's enabled. That's why they dropped 3G, and the reason is the 3G channel they used to use. This is why they did VoLTE, Voice over LTE, because they wanted to free up the 3G channel so they can use an extra LTE channel, which is all that is today. LTE is just an extra, the 3G before is just now an extra LTE channel so they can do multi-channel transmission. So when somebody says 5G, there's nothing really special. You are in Korea. Okay. So the much of 5G doesn't exceed 3 gigahertz. The actual true millimeter wave is 20 gigahertz. Okay, that's somewhere in 15 to 25 gigahertz. And that's a true 5G. They don't have that. They're testing with it, but they don't have that. So 3 gigahertz is just near Wi-Fi. There's nothing special. SY is a 14-year-old teen, and you're already using Proton Mail. Who's paying for your Proton Mail? Your parents? So, okay. So hopefully I'm, giving you like, this is like a different live stream, and maybe this will be more of a style, more informal chatting, rather than being on YouTube, get on a different platform, because YouTube doesn't like this format. What OS do I use? Well, right now it's Pop OS. So I'm looking at Pop OS right now. So I have not desktop, but I have Nux in here. I have the way I have this set up. I have my broadcast set up as 2 Nux. I'm looking at 2 screens here, and the Nux are running Pop OS. Okay, so top 5 things to stay number 1 is to change phone. Yeah, it is GNOME. Yeah, Pop OS is a fork of Ubuntu. So Pop OS makes Pop OS is the system used by System 76. So they make Pop OS. System 76 makes Linux computers. Okay, so yeah, so it as you know, Ubuntu is GNOME. They weren't always GNOME, but they are now. So yeah, so it is GNOME, and I'm using Pop OS as my main one. Yes, Debian. Ubuntu comes from Debian. And Debian, and then Pop OS itself is a fork of Ubuntu. Now, Ubuntu is a good one to fork. Many of you may not like Ubuntu because of privacy issues that they claim are a big issue. Not a big concern to me. I'm okay with Ubuntu, but if you are concerned about some of these privacy concerns in Ubuntu, then Pop OS took that out, and now those privacy concerns are not in Pop OS, although it is a fork. What is the advantage of Ubuntu? The advantage is that it is the most compatible. So if you're trying different computers, Ubuntu likely will work versus some of the other ones. Like Fedora may not work with every single computer, but Ubuntu likely will. So no, I don't. Tails OS is nice for testing, but that's not really practical to use. And Cubes is completely unusable. Cubes only works on very few computer models because it uses a hardware hypervisor for the virtual machine, and Cubes is running as a virtual machine, and it needs this hardware hypervisor, which does not exist on most computers. So Cubes does not actually run on most things. And that is why I have never, ever successfully run Cubes on any device that I own, maybe because I have newer computers. If you have older computers, you'll be successful with Cubes. If you have newer computers, because I don't want to waste time anymore with Cubes because it's so hard to make it work. Because you got to have the right kind of hardware. So yeah, so I don't like to use a hardware hypervisor. If you use Unix, it doesn't use that. It uses a software hypervisor. So yeah, so Cubes is too much of a limitation. So for that reason, no, I don't. It's good to talk about, and it's fancy if you can make it work, but it doesn't work too well in real life. So yeah. Unix is that's a good alternative if you want to do that, but I don't actually do Unix. There's some developers of Unix that I don't get along with, but not connected to Unix. Just one of those guys. um, I don't get along. Some people don't get along with me. So what am I going to do? Anyway, the what I try to do is similar to what a Unix or a Cubes does, and that is to isolate the network from the machine. But what I do is, instead of doing a virtual machine solution, I do mine with a Brax router. So my network is over a Brax router, which is a VPN or Tor router, which is exactly how Cubes and Tails and Unix works. But I do it by hardware. So in my entire house, my network is passed through a Brax router, which will route it through a VPN in my case. But I could set it to be Tor. I'd rather use a VPN. So then that's how I do the equivalent of doing a Unix or a Cubes or a Tails, but without the inconvenience, because it's very inconvenient to use some of these. Very hard. If you are a power user, it's very hard to use these. Unix, Cubes, and Tails are really more for this super secure, spy. If you're a spy, then you should use those. Otherwise, if you're Edward Snowden, then you probably should use Unix, Tails, and Cubes. But if you're not Snowden, you probably don't have to. Don't need to make it too difficult. For the average user, it's not necessary. So with my thing is, my entire household runs on Brax router, and we channel the internet over there, and on Bytes VPN on Brax router, and then I don't have to worry about any networking issues, because all of the traffic that emanates from my location here is always encrypted. And then it gets mixed up with all of you, the many thousands of users on Bytes VPN. So then it gets mixed up in there. So I'm not at that level power. Your dad gave it with conditions. Oh my God, that's pretty funny. You're probably good, as a teen. You're learning tech, and it's good for you. It's good. So you'll benefit from that. So Jay mentioned Raspberry Pi 5. By the way, I put the Brax router back in the store, so I do have quite a bit more Pi 4s that I found here. So I have Pi 4s with Brax router in the store. That's back in the store until I run out. But I have quite a few here, so we have a long ways to go here. And I'm using Brax router myself, so I am a user of my own software. As you know, Raspberry Pi 5 is going to come out soon, right? Some people have, their early copies of that, and I don't have one. And then in which case, then I can rewrite the Brax router software for a Raspberry Pi 5 when that time comes. So in which case then you can change the hardware to a Pi 5 if ever you need that. But you may not need that, because I'm functioning very well with a Pi 4. Now, how do I make a Pi 4 work with a lot of people with traffic? What I do is I don't use the Wi-Fi of the Pi 4. I hook another Wi-Fi router into the Ethernet of the Brax router, so the actual Wi-Fi comes from another router. Like I'm using a $50, what's the brand? Netgear. I forget the name. It's some cheap one from Netgear. So my cheap one from Netgear connects to the Brax router, and then it gives me a faster speed and then it connects to the gigabit port on the Brax router, and so I get gigabit speed on the Brax router. Now, somebody says that there could be a 10 gigabit speed on the Pi, but the Pi 5 is likely going to overheat. So this is not that simple. There may be going to be extra cost to keep that actually running. So I don't think it's that simple where you say, oh, well, you can get a Pi 5, maybe in a few months you get the Pi 5 and things will be so simple. No, there's some issues with overheating, so it's probably got to be put into, heat sinks in special case to accommodate a router use, because router use is very intense. So, yeah. So anyway, again, just to remind you, there's not going to be a change yet. I'm still formulating the idea in my head of how to do this. There's still some technical limitations on how to do a live stream on locals, but it doesn't cost you anything to go to robbraxman.locals.com to sign up there. And then the more of you there, then the more it incentivizes me to go in there and answer questions on kind of like a week-long chat on locals. Right now there's only like 150 people on there. So if more and more people are there, then there's you can actually answer each other over there too, and then I can come in and help. It's really tough, There's only so much of me that to make video. I've told you this before. Making a video is a very long drawn process, and it takes up to 5 days to make a video. So it's very time consuming. So some of you don't realize that, and I don't really even have time to do programming or do anything else when I make these videos, because I got to research the videos and produce them and make them and edit them and so on, and they do take a lot of time. So okay, so just I'm doing jazz performances all the time, Silas, but nobody really watches them. They're on my Rob Braxman Jazz channel, and I'm very deep into that. I have 2 gigs next week. And I'm still studying actively, so I do want to get to be professional in my jazz playing. So I'm continuously trying to improve my craft to be totally professional sounding. I am not yet professional sounding, but I'm getting close. So what they say, you need 10,000 hours to be a master. I think I started the year at 8,000 hours, so maybe I have 2,000 hours to go. So that's going to come in the next, maybe by next year I'll be at 10,000 hours, in which case then I'll be better. I play piano. I'm a jazz pianist. I'm a very serious jazz pianist. I try. So next week I'm going to be recording those gigs. If I find anything interesting, and if I do a good job, then I'll post it. If I do a bad job, I don't post it. I do, several gigs a month, and if I don't post it, I must not have done anything good. It's got to be good. Please use Bytes VPN. Bytes VPN. It's in the description, and it's on Brax.me. It's our VPN. Don't you want a VPN where you know who's providing the VPN service? So yeah. Use Bytes VPN. Would be appreciated. Yeah, you're supporting this channel, plus you're getting good service. I just told you we added many new regions this week. You're waiting for my music release for Spotify. You see, I'm doing live, so it's hard to do that. You're practicing ukulele. So Bytes VPN. So we have Bytes VPN, which I run with my staff, and then I have Braxmail, which I run with my staff. So yeah, those 2 services, and then we have a degoogling service. I have staff that do degoogle phones for you. Okay, we're down to to the last minute here. Yes, it's my VPN servers. Yes, so my VPN servers are my VPN servers. So you should trust, not just, that there's a VPN, but you should trust who runs the VPN servers. Can't do that. Where do you buy all SY? You have to get money from your parents. And anyway, go to Brax.me and join us there, and there's a store in there for all the products. Okay, yes, so Brax Mail now has webmail. Thank you for watching, my friends, and we're out of time, so I'll see you next week. Thank you for coming again, and many of you, you don't see the comments. We're on Rumble as well. Rumble is separate comments. The comments on the video are from YouTube. So thank you for watching, and I'll